Hey my friends, welcome to my channel. In this painting we're going to explore Sarah Mack's triple decker technique yet again, and I'm going to be using some lovely blues and pinks, leftovers from a painting I recently showed here. And this time though, as you probably could tell, I'm going to go for a little bit more whites than I did in my last triple decker attempt. Sorry, I'm not talking well today. But anyway, so I'm starting to fill the cup, of course, layering white down there first. Now I am going to be speeding up the footage quite a bit in just a moment. I haven't done that yet, but I also wanted to remind you that this is part of a grand premiere train, my friends, with my friends Lori of Lori Houston Art, Camille of Camille Lemoy Art, Nate of Nate Bright Art, and of course myself. And sometimes, I think once a month, Nate is also linking up with Julie E, so she might sometimes be on the other end of Nate. Not really sure if that's going to be tonight or a different week, but anyway, that's what's going on there. So of course I'm drizzling in very carefully the colors on top of the white, because the idea here, according to Sarah as she explains it, is that we want every color to really float on top of the next, and we really don't want any of them to sink down into any of the others. And the reason I'm pouring this white color, it's not a pure white, it's a little bit of an off-white color. The reason I pour that into a smaller paper cup is because white is heavier than all the colors, and as it is, it's pretty hard to keep it from sinking. And if we pour that in with the weight of a bigger cup like that behind it, then it's definitely going to sink. Probably not going to be able to control that. So either drizzling it on delicately with a spoon, or by placing it in a small paper cup where you can really bend and get a point coming out to it like a nice spout, you can drizzle that on very carefully without dropping that paint down into the colors below. And of course I did put the white in between my blue and my pink, even though I'm not looking at that white that I just put down as an official layer of the triple decker. I do want to barrier my pinks and my blues because I don't want purple. All right, that's one of the things that can be a challenge, my friends, of working with fluid art techniques, is that we just get a blending of colors in a way that we can control more easily if we are doing traditional painting by using a brush. Okay, so yeah, I would ultimately love my pinks and my blues to kind of be next to each other somehow, but I don't want purple, and there is that risk with fluid art. So that white that I'm putting there, that's really more one of my triple decker layers, where it's much thicker. If I would have showed you a side view of the cup, which I didn't think to do, you would see that that's definitely a substantial layer of white, whereas that other little barrier that I put between the pinks and the blues, like this one right here, that's very minimal. It's very, very thin. All right, there's not much to it. I'm basically just blocking the colors. And I am going to see if my auntie will also like this painting. So she's the one that I did the blue and the pink painting for recently, which I posted on my channel, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago at this point. And these were just some colors that I had left over from that painting. So I thought I would use them up and see if it turns out to be something that she'd also like to have. If not, no big deal, because I'm sure someone somewhere will like it, or I can turn it into a background for one of my fabulous goddess paintings. And we will be having more goddesses coming up. I've just been a little busy and I haven't had the time to put into a goddess lately, but I am working on a new one as we speak, and I am so pleased with how she is looking so far. I'm just gonna say that. Alright, so one of my favorite memories with my aunt, whether she wants this painting or not has nothing to do with it, but since we are talking about her, I remember, I believe it was when I went to visit her that time, that I mentioned in my last painting with the blue and the pink painting that I did a couple weeks ago, when I was telling a little bit of stories about her, and I mentioned how I got to go spend a summer with her in Northern California, and I lived down in Southern California at that time with my family. And so I think that we were up there, but one day she and I were on the freeway. Now she might have actually been down in Southern California visiting, but I overall think we were up where she lived. But regardless, it doesn't matter. It was the summer, it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day, and it was absolutely wonderful. And I remember she was laughing. I don't remember about what, but she always just would laugh quite a lot and had such a beautiful, fun laugh that just made me want to laugh. And I kind of talked a bit about that in that previous video. But anyway, so we were just in this really great space, cruising down the freeway. The windows were open, the breeze was blowing in our hair. And that song, that older song came on, The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades. And I mean, I really felt like that then, you know. I mean, really, when I was with her, I would feel that way. And the vibe that we were in was just so perfect for that song. It just couldn't have been more perfect. And every time I flash back to that memory, I think about that song, or every time I hear the song or think about the song, I flash back to that memory. And here's another thing, you know that little emoji with the little sunglasses on? Every time I see that emoji with the sunglasses on, I flash back to that day that we were in the car, happily cruising down the freeway, laughing it up about whatever we were. I don't even remember, but it doesn't even matter what it was about, because that was just the state that we were in. It was amazing. And the future really was so bright. We really did have to wear shades, because man, we were just in the way that we were, our space, our mood, it was just unstoppable. Yeah, it was just perfect. So I love that. I love that emoji. I always flash back to my auntie, that time in the car, that song that was on every time I see it, which is pretty much every time I go to use an emoji. So I really think about this probably a few times every day, which is pretty awesome, right? I mean, what a great place to be yanked back into. You know, if you're going to be yanked back into memories of yesteryear, I say get yanked back into some good ones, because however you feel in any given moment is where your point of attraction is, whether you're thinking about something right now from the past or projecting an idea that you might have about the future. However you're feeling is kind of what is in control of what you're going to be gravitating towards. So if you're going to be going back into yesteryear, so much the better if it's a great memory. All right, so look at this. Look at all these beautiful effects starting to open up. I'm just kind of doctoring up those corners right there. I really like a lot of the flows that have taken place. I like a lot of the coloring. I am going to be opening this up a little bit more in a moment. And once again, my friends, remember this is part of a premiere train, so please make sure you visit my other painting friends. And if you're here with us at the time that we're premiering, then of course you're going to probably follow with me and we're going to go and visit them and we'll all be together. But if you are visiting after the fact, then please make sure that you go visit my friends and their videos too, because they do very beautiful creative things, and I'm sure you're gonna love what they present. I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining as well as informative. You'll gain little tips and tricks for your own artistic adventures. I know you'll appreciate their videos too. Oh, look at that. I love watching the paint flow across the canvas. I did speed this up, my friends, so it's a little bit more notable. That is one thing I do enjoy about speeding up footage when the paint is flowing across the canvas. The faster it is, to a point anyway, you can just see it a little bit more, and it can be a little bit more mesmerizing than if it's going supersonic slow. I think this is either double the speed or 4 times the speed. I don't recall now. But I was tilting very, very slowly, and my actual tilting was extremely slow because I was wanting to control the paint and the flows. I wanted to maintain the integrity of all of these beautiful effects and lines and ribbonings that were going on. I didn't want that to break up, so I was really tilting very slowly. But then, in order to keep it a manageable video for you to watch, I wanted to speed that up. So look at these beautiful cells. That's from that dark blue sapphire extreme sheen. And even though I had sandwiched the pink and the blue with the white, they ended up together, which I really love, because I love blue and pink together. I really love that shade of pink with that shade of blue together. So I'm really excited about this and how this turned out. And there are so many beautiful things going on in this painting. I love all of these little subtle textures that I'm pointing to there. And just a little bit to the left of where my hand is, this beautiful ribboning that's taking place. I'll be pointing to that in a second. But yeah, there's some beautiful ribboning. Look at the beautiful ribboning where my finger is kind of going along that like hills and valley shape. I really like how that came out. There's so much dimension to that, and it's really beautiful. Look at just these beautiful cells and just all the fine details. That's one of the things I really like about fluid art, is just seeing all these subtle differences. You know, there's so many differences sometimes that emerge in a painting, and it can be so fascinating just to kind of get lost in them and just let my eyes just kind of scan over them. I really like that. I really enjoy that. Is that something you enjoy? Let me know in the comments below, please. And while you're at it, please be sure that you have liked this video. It really does help the algorithm. Commenting helps the algorithm, and we really appreciate that. When I say we, I mean me, my friends, and well, any content creator in reality, because it works the same for us all. So if you like a content creator, please at least like their video, and if you can at least give them a comment, even if it's just an emoji, it really helps to boost their algorithm. It helps YouTube show their content to more people, and it helps more people find their channel. So like, if you really like someone, at least please consider doing that. So thanks for being here, my friends, and I'll look forward to seeing you around my channel again soon.